Welcome back. You're watching KTN News Desk. I am Akisa Wandera. Anxiety has continued to grip the country as electoral body IEBC declared President Uhuru Kenyatta duly re-elected in the repeat presidential poll. Murimi Mwangi now reports on the unusual silence of the international observer groups, even as 25 constituencies in the 4 Nyanza counties failed to participate in the election.
As anxiety grew after the fiercely disputed August 8th election, which was subsequently nullified at the Supreme Court, the European Union observers, their counterparts from the African Union, and former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry were quick to give the polls a clean bill of health, way before the mandatory forms 34A and 34B arrived at the National Tallying Center, amidst opposition leader Raila Odinga's protests.
I know what it's like to lose an election. I lost by 1 state, the presidency of the United States. And I had a lot of reasons to complain about what happened in Ohio or other states. But you got to get over it and move on.
The observers have not helped Kenya to resolve this dispute. They have confounded it by giving basically an approval to a fairly flawed process. And therefore I'm very disappointed, Mr. John Kerry.
Fast forward to the equally contentious October 26th repeat presidential poll, preceded by Odinga's withdrawal from the ballot and the subsequent election boycott by millions of his supporters. And the international observers are suddenly tight-lipped. The head of the AU mission, Thabo Mbeki, who addressed the media on Sunday, also cautious on his post-mortem of the polls.
We don't want to make any conclusions so far. We will make the conclusions.
How many stations have you visited? Your team, not you in all. Your team.
I don't know very many. We had a team of observers in 18 counties.
After what some may call missteps in the last elections, when there's a feeling they came out too early to give a clean bill of health to the elections at the time, they would be a bit more cautious. I'm not surprised.
But Paul Anderson, the EU press and public outreach officer, told KTN News that although the fluid political situation in the country had complicated the observer mission's assignment, the EU had monitored the process since the polls opened to the tallying at the Bomas of Kenya, and would stay on to monitor any legal recourse following the Monday declaration of President Kenyatta's victory. A change of tact by most observer missions, seemingly informed by the embarrassment of endorsing the August 8th polls, which would be overturned by court.
Their reports were largely based on what happened up to the voting stage. I wouldn't fault them. It's like they kind of believed, because everything looked so okay up to the voting and tallying time, they would have had no reason to doubt or suspect anything fishy would happen.
You said you endorsed the fraud process.
Yes.
You're accused of endorsing a fraud process.
No, the observers, the international observers, made some observations. That includes the domestic ILOC made the same observation. And you would have seen, if you read the decision of the Supreme Court of Appeal, Supreme Court of Appeal agrees with us in terms of what we had observed.
Odinga is due to issue a major statement on Tuesday regarding his next move, leaving Kenyans guessing the observer mission's verdict of the repeat poll, which failed to take place in 25 constituencies within the 4 Nyanza counties.
Thank you, sir. You're live on air.
Even as Odinga and President Kenyatta's deputy William Ruto tactfully turned to international media to sell what has been widely viewed as headline narratives regarding the October 26th poll to the